The number one thing I have to say is don't sign off on your last time you can see your place until you get the keys, right? You want to feel really good about buying that property, not rush through it.
Thank you for joining me on San Diego Home Tours today. I am Addie Jacobs.
Hey, we are talking no waiving your final walkthrough, right? There's reasons why there is a final walkthrough here in the state of California, and I'm gonna share 5 of those with you. Thank you for joining me. I'm Addie Jacobs with Addie Jacobs Real Estate here in San Diego, and I will never tell my buyer to waive a final walkthrough. This is the exciting part, you guys. Get back into that house that you probably paid well over $1 million for here in San Diego and go check it out, right? I'm going to talk at the end a little bit about you're not bringing your contractors into this time, right? You're already done with your due diligence. So this is the time to just meet your agent. It's a quick run through of the house. But the top 5 for me, and they're not really in order. Number 1, make sure that if you got the sellers to give you some repairs that they had to fix, so this isn't a seller credit, right? But this is actual repairs that you asked them to do. You negotiated within your offer that you wanted fixed. So let's say the toilet wasn't working well or something. You want to make sure that you have the receipt. And a lot of times, I know for me, I send those receipts as a seller's agent to the buyer agent, but making sure that you have the receipts and they match the work that has been done. So that's number 1. Again, right? Confirm the repairs were made and they're done right and you have the receipt, okay? Number 2, ensure the property condition is the same from when you walked in and you bought it, right? I've seen some weird ones and I could go into them all day long, and maybe I'll share one at the end, so stick tight. Making sure that nothing has changed on when you first put the offer in and it got accepted. That's number 2. Make sure that the personal properties and fixtures are still there that you also negotiated. So there's a lot of homes that have really cool chandeliers, or maybe it's the fridge or things that were negotiated within that offer because, right, everything's negotiable. So whatever you negotiated, it could be, a fan, it could be other things. That I could talk about a whole nother video, but making sure that everything that you negotiated in the offer is also still at the house. So just make sure that is. Make sure, I would also say, your agent is checking on all of the utilities and functionality of those utilities. So I like to turn on all the water, all the sinks and everything that, everything is still just working perfectly fine. Super important, easy to do. I turn the waters on, we talk, make sure nothing is clogged, everything is working well. This is number 5, is avoid last minute surprises. So making sure to not have anything hold up the escrow at the end. The final walkthrough is very, very important. There's another one that's really important to me, is making sure, and sometimes this is not reality because the sellers have up until that, that last day to get out of their house. Make sure that you try to get the seller's agent to ask the seller to, we could do this final walkthrough when all their stuff is out of the house. Now, you're gonna say, well, they're not moved out yet. Well, just really try to inspect underneath rugs, right? Number 1, I always feel like I'm pulling up these rugs because I wanna make sure that underneath is not damaged, right? Or like hidden with people's furniture and belongings. So even in the garage, I have a story about a garage where the seller, I'm telling you, was a pack rat and had their crap and everything. I don't even know. I mean, you could probably built 2 houses out of this garage, but everything was in that garage. So we could not inspect the floor of the garage. What if there's some major cracks in there? So I really want to make sure that you guys are doing your due diligence, do your final walkthrough, be excited, get over there and check it out. This is a really good time for you to be able to go check it out and maybe do some measurements, with your loved ones and figure out where the beds are going to go and stuff like that. Do not sign off on your final walkthrough with your agent. Get over there, get in it, and do your due diligence. Now, this is not a time for you to bring contractors. This is not a time for you to do any of that. And the top 5 reasons you do not start bringing a contractor in at the time of a final walkthrough is that it's not for contractors. You have already signed off on your contingency period, which is, doing your inspections. So this is not a time for a contractor to come through. And I've seen and heard of this happening, and there's liability issues with that. What if the contractor, is in the house and starts screwing with some stuff and damages the property, or starts screwing with some stuff and then gets the buyer all confused with, wait, now there's issues with the property because this contractor's coming in and stirring the pot in many ways. That's not a good idea to bring your contractor. This could delay closing. That's another one, which we're going to be closing in the next 1 to 5 days when you're doing that final walkthrough. It can cause a lot of different problems. So make sure when you're doing your final walkthrough, you're just doing the final walkthrough. This is no time to increase the risk of, personal property damage of that seller, because what if now he screws something up and now it's delay of closing, or screws something up bad enough that now it's like everybody's pissed off, right? So this is not the time of that. It's like a last minute of trying to negotiate. That's another one. Bring your contractor after you close, and you should have brought your contractor right in the due diligence part of your doing your inspection period. So those are the top 5 and 5. I kind of talked a lot about it, but the number one thing I have to say is don't sign off on your last time you can see your place until you get the keys, right? You want to feel really good about buying that property, not rush through it. I know 30 days is even really quick to even purchase a property, but do your due diligence well before, do your final walkthrough, really try to get all of the personal property out of there of the seller if you can, or like as far as making sure maybe you do your final walkthrough when they have already moved out, right? I would say that would be number 1. If they cannot do that, make sure that the agent and you are, making sure that underneath the rugs and moving the couch and making sure everything still really looks good. And again, don't bring those contractors. So if you have any questions about buying or selling or buying real estate, investment properties here in San Diego, I would love to help you. I'm going to be doing more videos. Of course, I do a lot of home tours throughout the week as well, but I'm finding that I'm getting a lot of questions on the nitty gritty of the contract here in California because it's about that big. It's so big because everybody's so happy here in California. So you really have to make sure you're protecting yourself, having a good real estate agent. Hopefully that's me, who is going to explain that residential purchase agreement in length. It's not scary. You just need to be educated, and I would love to help you out. I'll talk to you guys soon. Hopefully you guys are watching my home tours. Let me know what you think, what areas you like, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take it easy.